Good afternoon, friends and traders. Welcome to the Market Recap. I am Dan Hodgman. It is Wednesday, June 15th. I hope you guys are all having a great day. Wait, is it Wednesday? I'm having an absolute brain fart all of a sudden. I'm losing my mind. I take that back. Thursday, excuse me, July 15th. Wow. Tell ya, I must be having an afternoon here. Might need some more coffee. Hope you guys are all having a great day. Markets are moving here. Stocks are down. S&P's tried to recover here a little bit this afternoon. Same with the Nasdaq. S&P a little stronger there than the Nasdaq on some recovery. But for the most part, we are down on both those. Crude oil still kind of taking this little bit of a dip from EIA yesterday. Remember, EIA yesterday was an 8 million barrel draw. I think it was 7.9 was the actual number, but we'll round up. We'll call it 8 million. Gold this morning really floating that settlement price. Could not get right to where we were looking at yesterday, 1821. We broke down to it. From there, that market bounced and has had a strong afternoon. So we'll make sure we look closer at that one, see where that opportunity was at that price, 1821. Euro, on the other hand, yesterday we had that really, really strong day from the euro. Not the case today. Opened up this morning and really made the attempt to try and get back higher. I'll show you kind of an area that it hit that wall. Remember, markets are so extremely visual. If you're seeing it, everyone else is seeing it. This is one of the things I like about the 30-minute chart. So many different people are looking at it because you're looking at it from just a standard chart. You're looking at it from market profile. It's a commonly themed time chart. So if you're seeing it in those types of charts, it's a great place to see it. You're also going to see it in numerous other charts as well, but I really do enjoy the 30-minute there. And the 10-year note opened up this morning, came down, checked settlement price, closed that gap to settles. The only one here really today other than gold, but gold wasn't really closing a gap. It opened up its settlement price, worked around it. The 10-year note, though, opened up away from settlement price, worked its way right down to settles, and I think about through it by a tick. And then we're seeing those yields dipping, sending that 10-year note higher. Now, not a lot on the news front. We're still getting a lot of earnings coming in. Like we said, today was a bunch of big banks, Morgan Stanley, Cintas. You've got also United Health came in, Progressive, U.S. Bancorp. So a lot of earnings are coming in, and they're all showing pretty good numbers. And we're not seeing the markets react. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Why you don't think these markets are reacting to good earnings numbers? Is it the buy the rumor, sell the news? Maybe that's the case. Everyone's kind of already anticipated the fact that we're going to see good earnings with everything kind of getting back on track around the world. And they've been buying into that this whole time. They finally see that, and it's a time to get out and call it a day. I don't know. I guess we'll have to continue to wait and see long-term effects of this. And inflation continues to be a talk. Jerome Powell has been speaking about it the last couple of days. And, I don't think that conversation is going anywhere. So as we move forward every month, when that CPI number comes out, again, it's not on the list for top step that you have to be flat for, but it is going to be continuing to be an extremely volatile number. Historically, CPI was never anything really anyone was concerned about. Inflation was not that big topic like it is these days. So continue to keep an eye on that stuff, and don't forget Top Step's birthday is right around the corner, so should have some fun stuff coming with that. Let's go ahead and take a look at these charts here and see what we got going on here today. We got the 10-year note up here. Let's make sure we'll start with our crude oil. And like we said, crude oil yesterday, the big sell-off. Opened up this morning and started the rally. We had settlement price here in this market right at 73.13. 73.13 is where our settlement price is. We did not get back to it completely. But here's what I'm noticing. This is an area I was looking for opportunity. I was looking for this market to get to settlement price. We have an unchecked point of control at 73.15. We've got settlement price 73.13. So many things are calling my attention to get this market to it, but it never made it there. Here's where we got to. Yes, last night, right when we opened up, market opened up below that settlement price, below that point of control. This is right where we opened up last night. So market closed, we opened up, market came right to it and could not finish closing that gap. It could not finish closing the gap. Fast rejection there. I think we're still leaning on yesterday's numbers. Market broke down. That to me was probably the closest to a good opportunity of the day. Now, everyone's got a different appetite for risk. If you're getting in on this, you've got a decent amount of risk there. 20, probably 25 ticks, so $200, $250 to take that trade to the downside. If you have that kind of risk, that's a great opportunity. If that's too much risk for you in a trade, understandable. Absolutely okay. Don't feel like just because it's getting close, it's a perfect trade for you. Now, if you can manage that risk of $200, $250 in a trade, great opportunity here. If not, you need to look as this market starts to create that direction. You got to look for those areas of where this thing's going to pull back into. So to me, the next place I'm looking at is where this market continued to find rejection in the overnight session. Right here, right around 72.60, we'll round it up, 72.60. This is where that market starts to reject. And as we can see here, we can see this market started to slow up just slightly. That's a good opportunity for us to say, all right, direction's continuing to the downside. We have rolled this thing over. We could not make the move to settlement, and point of control from yesterday looked to see this thing continue in the downward direction. And this was our chance right here, right where we found that rejection in the overnight session. Next, let's look at the S&P 500. Like we said, we opened up this morning moving away from settlement price. Settlement price was up here at 43.67 3/4. 43.67 3/4 is where our settlement price was. Market opened up, made a quick move higher. Nope, wasn't happening. It made it to our 20-period EMA. Again, I highly recommend putting some of these moving averages on your charts just to keep an eye on them. And yes, the 20-period SMA also is right here. They were in line together with each other, as well as VWAP. So we had three indicators kind of telling us there's some opportunity here. If this market gets directional, market did get directional, continued to break down, finally broke through this week's low and made a strong downward move. Finally, the computers kicked on, the buyers came in and really scooped this thing up and recovered some of those losses from the overnight. Like we said, S&P was the stronger recovery here this afternoon. Nasdaq, not as strong, but still made that attempt. Nasdaq, just like S&P 500, down today. But the difference here, this market settled yesterday at 14,891 3/4, 14,891 3/4, right where we opened up. Now, here's why it was such a great opportunity to be short off the open. Not because it looked nice and we had a big break, but market, when you start to look at moving averages here, when the market's trading above those moving averages, we tend to see them continue in that direction. Once the moving average gets above where the market's actually trading, you'll tend to see that market look to move lower. Essentially, it's trying to move away from where those moving averages are. So as we go back, every time the market continued to hold above those moving averages, we check below, traded above. It tends to be exactly how these things work when you're looking at these shorter time frame moving averages. So we're below both moving averages. We're right at settlement price. Great opportunity to say, I can take this short and I don't have to take a lot of risk in this thing. And this market broke hard and fast and continued trending lower for the majority of the day until this afternoon. When the market gets moving like this, when it breaks out of a range like this, when it starts to get directional, do not fight that. We do not want to be trying to pick the bottoms in these markets. It's just not financially smart to do that. It doesn't help us manage risk. Wait for those pullbacks when a market gets directional. 9 times out of 10, that pullback is just a sign, is just a little bit of strength in a downward market or a little bit of weakness in an upwards market. That's our chance to take advantage of those directional moves. And like the S&P, started to recover here a little bit this afternoon, but not a lot. We've moved our point of control today all the way down here to 14,760. All right, next, let's look at the gold. Gold was similar to the crude oil market this morning, or excuse me, not the crude oil, the Nasdaq market this morning, opening up right at settlement price, 1825 even. 1825 even is our settlement price. The market opened up right around it and was holding very steady. Truly was. It was not breaking out one way or the other right away. We had some chop. For me, that's usually a time I'm staying away from things. I'm trying to let that chop really slow down. Started to break. All right, I'm not catching that break, but what am I looking at? Yesterday, how many times did we talk about this 1821 price? Market came right down to 1821, held there for a little bit, but never went below. I guess we went 4 cents past, or 40 cents past it. Not a huge move through. So I'm looking at this saying 21's holding. We liked this price yesterday. I'm going to like it again, and I'm going to see if I can get this market to recover, possibly back to settlement price, right? If we're long 21, we run it up to 25. That's a nice $400 a contract. It's a really nice $400 a contract there. And this market continued to go. And this is where, going back to a conversation we had yesterday, letting those winners run, we moved through settlement price pretty quickly, continued directional. We can, if we have two on, we peel one off at settlement price. We're locking in $400. We're going to say, let's see, or excuse me, we're locking in 400. Let's see if we can get this thing to continue, maybe even towards those overnight highs. Did not get quite there, but for the most part was a really nice trade. Could have locked in about $900 on each of those contracts that you had on. Next, let's look at the euro. Like we said, euro broke in the overnight session. We caught a little bit of a bid here off the open. Check point of control. How many times do we say, look at point of control for opportunity, whether it's an entry point or an exit point? Great area to look for opportunity. We bounced right up to yesterday's point of control and then continued in our downward direction. When we find the strength in a downward market, that's our chance. But we're not just looking to get in anywhere. Just because we see a little bit of a pullback maybe does not mean that's the point to hop in. We want to see this start to approach some levels that we're consistently paying attention to, right? Consistency is key in all of this. So we get to yesterday's value area low, point of control from yesterday. Boom. There's our opportunity. Let's take this short and see if we can continue down. And what's that next area we're looking at? The low side of yesterday's regular trading hour session. And that's where this market came right to really nicely. So good opportunity there as well. All right, lastly, let's take a look at this 10-year note. We'll get on out of here. Settlement price yesterday was 133.14 half. 133.14 half right here. Market opened up, rotated right down to settlement price. We closed that gap to settlement price. We see yields start to dip. Stars are aligning. We have two great indications to go ahead and be long this market. And we're putting our stop just on the other side of that settlement price and seeing if we can get that bounce. So hope you guys were able to recognize that one if you're trading treasuries. Those are our markets here today. Again, hope you guys have all had a great week so far. It is Thursday. Weekend is coming. Tomorrow's Friday. The key on Friday is always capital preservation. Now, we want to be thinking about that every single day, but we got to come in trading, ready to trade most days. Fridays, we're coming in. We're looking for a little opportunity in the morning to set ourselves up, maybe adding to our profits for the week or setting ourselves up just to be a little bit better than we came in so that next week we're not thinking too much. But the key is do not blow thy entire wad on Fridays. The last thing anyone ever wants to do is go into the weekend having a rough day on Friday. So if you're down this week, come in tomorrow. Low expectations. Look for some small opportunity. See if you can just put yourself in a little better situation. If you're up this week, coming in tomorrow, don't look for the big stuff. Keep your risk really tight. If you got a loss limit for yourself of $1,000 on the day, cut it in half. Don't risk that. Keep it small. Nothing crazy tomorrow. If we have big news, then maybe you'll find some opportunity. But it is Friday. Capital preservation. If you have to, or if you can, start your weekend early. Do not. And this is so important to me when it comes to trading for ourselves, and it's not allowing the markets to essentially be that ball and chain. Do not let them lock you in at your desk every single day. Take advantage of it. Get out. Middle of July, summertime here in the United States. Stuff to do. If it's going for a walk, getting by the water, anything along those lines, look for that out. Look for that chance to walk away and call it a day. All right. Let's go ahead and start with our Bitcoin here. See where we got that Bitcoin at today. Another down day. Has the Bitcoin bubble bursted? I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one there. Right now, trading 31,535. We've got... Oh, I want to say hello to everyone first. Brian, good to see you. Tanya, Bill, George, Scott, Drones over Texas. One's company birthday. I'm new. Well, welcome. First off, birthday is this month. We should have some big stuff coming out soon. So just keep your eyes peeled there. Norman, good to see you. Thanks, Sam, for the information on moving averages and stuff. Absolutely, Norman. Anything I can do to help. Vlad, huge day today. Tons of activity. Awesome. Had opportunity to trade large sizes. Friday, usually done early by 10:30, 11. Great. That's a great plan. Look to be done early tomorrow and start that weekend early. Can't stress that one enough. All right, speaking of tomorrow, well, real quick, let's touch on our stocks. Airbnb, remember we bought that 148. We're trading 137.50 right now. We got Tesla trading 650, excuse me. AMC, $36. So a little pop here today on AMC. GameStop, pretty much flat on the day, $166 there. So those are just a couple of stocks we like to keep our eyes on. All right, anyhow, as I was saying, tomorrow, earnings, nothing crazy. Honeywell, Charles Schwab, Burberry. So just a few. Fridays tend to be lighter. And like we said, yields dipping today. 10-year, 57 basis points and 30.61. Dead letter opener, good to see you as well. All right. Also, tomorrow, economic numbers. Retail sales, 7:30 a.m. Central Time. That's going to be a decent one, so keep your eyes on that one. You're going to also have business and inventories and consumer sentiment at 9 a.m. And those of you that are trading crude oil, tomorrow at noon, Baker Hughes rig count. So that's what we got tomorrow. And then coming up in about 10 minutes, the Fed balance sheet should be coming out. All right, and lastly, this date in history, and we'll get on out of here. First off, on this date in 2006, good old Twitter launched. That was back in 2006. That one's been around 15 years already. Other than that, not a whole lot to mention about this date in history. Just double checking. All right, well, I guess we could mention two more. 1988, John McClane in Die Hard made his debut in the movie theaters, and then in 1903, the Ford Motor Company took its first ever order from a Chicago dentist, bought an $850 two-cylinder Model A automobile. Pretty wild to think. That wasn't that long ago. A little over 100 years ago. It was the first ever order, and now you think about what these cars are, what they cost, and all of that. Jacob, good to see you. Up 1,000 today. Could be more, but only put 2 hours. Hey, don't think about what it could be. Focus on what you got. $1,000 day is a phenomenal day. Way to go. Taking tomorrow off, good idea. You enjoy your weekend as well. My pleasure there, dead letter opener. All right. Yes, Nakatomi Plaza. All right, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and sign on out. John will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time with the market forecast. And then I won't see you until Monday. So have a great weekend. Get out there, enjoy it. But until then, stay safe, wash your hands, trade